Hi everyone and welcome to this week's video tutorial. So one topic that I'm really passionate about and that I'm researching at the moment is music performance anxiety. I don't like to call it music performance anxiety. It is abbreviated commonly to MPA. You may have also heard stage fright, stage anxiety, stage block. There's loads of other common phrases that we hear used from our teachers and leaders. However, and they're not wrong. When we are suffering from anxiety and we are suffering from a level of fright, probably. I just don't like to use those phrases personally because I think it can multiply the problem for some people. And of course, there is that word as well, problem. Is it a problem? It's usually something that is automatic. And so actually we're going to learn today about how we can maybe turn off that automatic response or at least control it to some degree. So it's my choice to look to using words and terminology like enhancement. So rather than saying, oh, you're suffering with performance anxiety, I'll try and say, well, okay, how can I look to enhance that performance so that we lose that feeling of nervousness or anxiety? Because I just think that's a bit of a kinder way around it. So there we go. What we do know scientifically about MPA is that there are three variable causes, and that is autonomic, that's the physical reaction that we experience, the cognitive, that's the emotional experience that we have, and the overt behavioural response, that's what we see as reactions, what we can see in a person or what somebody sees in you as a reaction. So the onset of MPA, that's the start of MPA, will happen from either an event that you've experienced. For example, you've experienced being frozen on stage, frozen stiff, you couldn't explain it. You've practiced loads and you're frozen stiff. It could be pressure that you've received from your parents or from a teacher. It could be your perception of an experience that has led to you being slightly anxious on stage or before going on stage. And this is certainly a lot of things that are up for debate. So as a young person, I want you to be really honest with yourself and, don't just blame, oh, my parents are putting pressure on me, so I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm messing it up because my teachers put pressure on me. You actually, to get to the bottom of it, you do need to be really sincere with the truthfulness behind your anxieties here. And I will echo again that word anxiety does trouble me because it isn't technically a clinical anxiety, and we do want to be mindful of the terminology that we're using, and I am being mindful of it as I'm even presenting this. So be honest and frank also with yourself, and be open-minded to the fact that there could be other factors causing you to be nervous. For example, are you prepared? Have you practiced? Are you in the right setting? So, have you put yourself in for something that you're not ready for? That you need to be truthful about that. And, if you're anxious because you're going on stage and you're underprepared, then that's an easy fixing solution. There's a quick fix to that, and that is next time don't give yourself that opportunity. Just improve your circumstances there. Interestingly, there are some really fun studies which have been done which have shown that girls and boys have different reactions before, during and after performances. So they can be really interesting to explore with your teacher and discuss with your teacher. For example, girls have a higher heart rate before performing and not during performing in comparison to boys. Boys have higher anxiety before and during performance. So this all affects the way that we prepare for a performance. So for example, girls might need more relaxation and mindfulness before they go on stage, whereas boys need to let off steam. And that is a broad sweeping statement, but that's what research does suggest at the moment. Understanding the reaction that happens that's the autonomic reaction that happens is really important. So when we're looking at the autonomic reaction, this is what lots of you will have heard as fear, flight and fright response. So let's just imagine that you're out on a field and you see a lion. Okay, your body's natural reaction is to run. As you start running, your body's cooling system switches on. So you will start sweating, you will start panting, your heartbeat will raise and you will breathe a lot higher. And that's because you're running. Your body is naturally tuned to have these reactions. Your palms will get sweaty. You'll be running off adrenaline, quite literally. You'll feel that in your body. And if you just close your eyes for a minute and do a really simple exercise where you literally don't send the fear of God into yourself, but imagine that you are running from a lion and imagine all the reactions that will happen, and I guarantee you will be able to find some of those reactions that happen before you go on stage. Shakes, sweating, clammy hands, raised heartbeat, gripping in your throat, tight breathing. All of that is indicative of that fear, flight, fright response being switched on. So let's imagine that we're about to go on stage and we're feeling all of those things. Well, the simplest thing would be to learn to switch them off, or at least try. Wouldn't that be exciting? So I often say to my students, there is no lion, there is no lion, there is no lion. I'm actually okay. And what I notice in students is then, I'm okay. I don't need to be breathing high. I don't need to be panicking, and actually just switching off those autonomic responses is really, really useful. Just telling yourself you're okay. There's a wonderful lady called Christina Schul who wrote a book, well-researched book in 2009, and I went to a workshop with her, and she actually had us all kind of just rubbing ourselves and saying, they're there. And actually it had a powerful effect on a group of adults, and I've seen it working really well amongst students. It's literally standing at the side of stage or before you're going to the side of stage and just telling yourself, I am okay. There is no lion coming to get me. And it sounds ridiculous, but just switching those responses off. Then if you go back to my breathing video where I say about putting your hands on your tummy button, drawing a diamond down and breathing into your belly, all those things help switch off that automatic, as it were, response. And you will find that your situation will improve greatly if you can just learn to switch it off. You can use that on stage as well. When you're breathing in, drop that breath nicely into your belly and just help switch the system off a little bit as you're on the stage. That coupled with your journaling, where you can then, every time you perform, be it in class, be it an assessment, be it in an exam, be it in an audition, be it on stage and performing, be it at an open mic, karaoke, singing in front of the family around Sunday dinner, whatever it is, note and credit your improvement, credit your progression, and just you watch yourself grow. You're going to rock it with confidence, and you're going to build self-efficacy, you're going to build self-belief, and you're going to see your improvements go through the roof with this simple technique. You might go back to my breathing video and learn those techniques, adopt them as part of your warm-up, being in tune with yourself, being mindful to yourself. At the moment, mindfulness is a big craze, but the mindfulness techniques that are really useful for building self-efficacy, that self-belief and self-worth, and really knowing that you can get through this performance, as well as being prepared and well practiced and all the rest of it, is journaling and breathing. So like I said, there's a breathing video that I've done, and journaling is a really good way that has been proven to reduce MPA and all those other positive, lovely things that encourage you to look to improving yourself all the time, but in a positive light. going on stage and thinking, I might get this wrong, I might get that wrong, I might get this wrong, and I'm likely to do this wrong, is probably going to result in something negative happening, because you're not setting yourself up for a positive ending. If you go on stage thinking, I am prepared, I am ready, I can do this, the likelihood of you succeeding is far greater. And sometimes we need to be told that it's true. If you feel like something in the past has affected your nervousness today, so be it that a teacher has said, I expect this of you. If a parent has said, I want you to win today, if you've put yourself under pressure in the past and a mistake has come from that, it could also be that there's those 2 bars in that song that you always get wrong. Well, just try telling yourself that event is in the past and it's gone and you don't need to relive it again. And if it's really that bad, then can you consider changing that material? Obviously, if you're playing a role, there's not a lot to do to get around it, except know that it's in the past and that event doesn't need to repeat itself again. If you are getting pressures from parents and teachers, you do need to talk to them about that, because I'm sure they'd feel horrendous to know that you feel that way. And often you young people put these things and ideas into yourself, and often if you share it with your teacher or with your parents, they'd be mortified to know that you felt that way, and that will instantly remove the stress of that situation. I just want to give you another example as well as the lion. So if you think when you're watching a scary movie that sometimes, my husband will say I don't watch them, but if I do, I'll be behind the pillow sweating and shaking and shivering and my feet get clammy and it's gross, and I just don't watch them anymore. But normally your heartbeat will raise, or the music and the atmosphere, it's all making that feeling happen. And how do you get over that? What do you do? Just note what you do. And I want you to try and do that when you feel scared next going to perform, or when you feel that you're going to mess something up before you go on stage. Just try and note it down. If there's other things going on, you must talk to an adult about the way that you're feeling and the way that you're struggling to get around this. Because on a serious note, if you're struggling with it that much, then you do need to get some more professional help. But actually, research does show that mindfulness techniques, breathing techniques, journaling, and reminding yourself that there's no lion, or building those habits like the scary movie in to your practice, and that's before you go on stage, before you go into lesson, and it will improve your situation for you. If you would like some more help, do contact me. My email address is ac@ameliacarvoice.com. This is a topic that's close to my heart. I'm researching it at the moment, so let me know how you get on with these tips that I've given you. I'd love to hear your results, good and bad and everything in between, because it's really difficult to squidge this massive topic and sensitive topic into a quick tutorial, but I hope that I've done it some justice, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter, and find me on Facebook. It's Amelia Carr Voice, or hop onto my website if you'd like to book a lesson with me, www.ameliacarvoice.com, or send me an email, ac@ameliacarvoice.com, to book a lesson in person, to book a lesson over Skype, or to book a tutorial, which is where you send me a video of you singing and I send you one back, giving you some tips and tricks that you can keep doing at home. It's been a pleasure to have you with me. Like I said, send me an email if you've any questions at all. If you're a parent concerned for your child that's having lots of stage anxiety, then do send me an email. I'd love to set up a consultation with you. And if you'd like to have a coaching session to further explore these MPA strategies, I'd love to see you for a coaching session also. Take care. Bye.